In the intricate web of 19th century politics, George Canning emerges as a truly pivotal figure. His actions across different parts of the world not only aimed to adjust the scales of power, but also subtly ensured Britain's interests were kept front and center. Let's delve deeper into how he maneuvered through these challenges. Firstly, let's travel to the vibrant landscapes of the Spanish American colonies. Here, in this bustling era of revolution, local heroes like Simon Bolivar were fervently casting off the chains of Spanish rule. By the early 1820s, these new states were teetering on the brink of freedom, yet still vulnerable. Enter George Canning, who sensed opportunity amidst strife. In a profound shift in 1824, Canning officially recognized the independence of these nascent nations. His words resonated with boldness and a hint of defiance. I call the new world into existence to redress the balance of the old. Sounds grand, doesn't it? Yet, it's crucial to understand the bigger picture. The mighty Royal Navy patrolled the seas, rendering any European intervention nearly impossible. Moreover, the Monroe Doctrine, established by the U. in 1823, already provided a stern warning against European meddling in Latin American affairs. Here was Canning, perhaps overstating his role, but nonetheless aligning Britain with the tide of emerging independence. Meanwhile, over in Portugal, the political drama unfolds with a twist. King John of Portugal, unlike many of his contemporaries, wasn't being forced into liberal reforms. He had actually embraced them. Yet turmoil wasn't far behind, his own family plotted his downfall. Here again, Canning's Britain stepped onto the stage in 1824, providing crucial naval support that reinstated the king. Not just once, but twice, as the waters of political strife refused to remain calm, necessitating a second intervention in 1833 to secure the throne for King John's granddaughter. Now, let's shift our gaze to Greece, a nation whose quest for independence stirred the hearts of many across Europe. By the early 1820s, Greece was a simmering cauldron of nationalist fervor, driven by secret societies and passionate revolutionaries. The conflict escalated as external powers pulled Greece into their orbit, each with its own agenda. The Egyptians, under Mehmet Ali, were called upon by the Sultan to suppress the Greek rebellion. His forces, led by his son Ibrahim Pasha, left a trail of devastation. Here, Canning saw an opportunity not just to aid a burgeoning nationalist movement, but also to fracture the unity of the Holy Alliance, notably between Russia, who supported the Greek cause, and Austria, which staunchly opposed any intervention. His diplomatic acumen shone through as he navigated this treacherous terrain, sowing seeds of self governance amidst the chaos of war. George Canning's role during this era can be seen as both a caretaker of British interests and a catalyst for change. Whether he was supporting new republics in Latin America, backing liberal monarchs in Portugal, or mediating in the Greek struggle for independence, his actions always had dual outcomes, shaping not just the future of these regions but also the dynamics of global power. His legacy, a complex tapestry of realpolitik and opportunism, reminds us how a nation's foreign policy often balances the scales between ideological support and strategic interest. Interesting, right? As we've seen, Canning's interventions were far from simple acts of altruism. They were calculated moves on the global chessboard, each with profound implications. Let's keep going and see how these unfold further in the intricate dance of 19th century diplomacy. As we draw this chapter to a close, it's worth reflecting on the diplomatic dance that defined Europe in the early 19th century. George Canning's maneuvers on the international stage, particularly with the Treaty of London in 1827, illustrate a crucial pivot in geopolitical tactics. By uniting Britain, Russia, and France to persuade Turkey to allow Greek self-governance, Canning didn't just aim to stabilize a region, he effectively reshuffled the powers of the Holy Alliance, dissolving their combined force into individual entities. His strategic finesse, although cut short by his untimely death shortly after becoming Prime Minister, momentarily sculpted a new European order. It's a reminder of how individual actions can ripple through history, influencing far-reaching political landscapes. Indeed, The 1827 treaty did not cement a long-lasting peace. The arrangements Canning celebrated was soon undercut by the Russo-Turkish War, eventually leading Greece to full independence. This outcome spotlights a recurring theme: the fragility and fluidity of political alliances and agreements, often swayed by national interests and revolutionary spirits that brook no containment. As we venture beyond Canning's era into the 1830 revolution in France and the subsequent upheavals across Belgium, Poland, and Italy, we perceive another layer of this ever evolving historical narrative. The revolution in France, seen by Metternich as the bursting of a dike, triggered a wave of revolutionary attempts that, although largely unsuccessful except in Belgium, set the stage for future uprisings. This cycle of revolution and suppression highlights a critical point: the persistent undulation between control and freedom, order and change. Metternich's response to these revolutions offers a stark contrast to Canning's approach. Known for his rigidity, Metternich's 1851 reflection, where he declared his unchanging principles, juxtaposes sharply with the dynamic shifts of allegiances and policies around him. His inability to adapt, confessing that error has never entered my spirit, serves as a poignant reminder of the pitfalls of inflexibility in a world in constant motion. What can we take away from all this? First, the notion that alliances, no matter how powerful, are susceptible to the pressures of internal politics and the pulse of public sentiment. Second, the impact of visionary leaders like Canning, who can temporarily reshape international relations, stands in delicate balance with forces of nationalistic fervor and revolutionary ideals. The chapter we've just explored not only delves into the intricate ballet of 19th century European politics, but also echoes into our present day challenges. It underscores the continuous struggle between maintaining the status quo and embracing change, between revolutionary zeal and the cautious hand of conservatism. As history fans out its narratives, these themes recur, each time adapted to the context of its era, but consistently reflective of the human spirit's indomitable push for self determination and the complex web of international relations. As we reflect on these historical dynamics, it's essential to consider how today's decisions might be viewed through tomorrow's historical lens. Are we the cautious conservators of order, or are we the impassioned advocates for change? Understanding our past, like the events narrated in this chapter, provides not just lessons, but also landscapes of thought that can inform our choices and our future. Therefore, as we take leave of this narrative, let us ponder our role in the ongoing dance of diplomacy and revolution, of alliance and individual action. How we move within this dance will determine the legacies we leave behind, just as the figures of the 19th century have left theirs for us to consider today. That's it for today's episode on Fun Learn Talks, where stories from business, technology, and history keep your curiosity alive. If you enjoyed the journey, make sure to follow, rate, or share it with a fellow curious mind. And hey, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment or connect with us online. I'm Anu, and I'll catch you next time, right here on Fun Learn Talks. Until then, keep learning, keep wondering.